Good morning. In the last class, we began module 2, where we considered we'll be talking about basic MOSFET amplifiers as the first part of module 2. And whenever we talk about amplifiers, we should do analysis in two parts. The first part is to do the DC analysis and fix the bias point or the operating point. And when we do the DC analysis, we will open all the capacitors in the circuit because they block DC, and we will short all AC voltage sources in the circuit. If there are current sources, you open the current sources. So first step is to do the DC analysis and fix the Q point. We have studied two techniques to do the bias, that is the fixed VGS bias and fixed VG bias. Both we have studied. The second part is small signal or AC analysis. And in order to do small signal or AC analysis, the first step is to replace all capacitors with short circuits and replace all the DC voltage sources with short circuits or the internal resistances present in the voltage sources. That is called as AC equivalent circuit. So DC equivalent circuit is retain all DC sources and open all capacitors, short all AC sources. AC equivalent circuit is retain AC voltage sources, short all the DC voltage sources, and short the capacitors. If you remember that, it would be good. Now we considered a simple amplifier, and I told you how the input signal is supplied from a signal generator, which will have some voltage Vsig and it will have some resistance Rsig. We call this as the source resistance, the voltage source along with its resistance. Then we have coupling capacitors. I told you usually we would be cascading multiple stages of amplifiers to get the desired gain. It's not a single stage we work with more often. And when we cascade multiple stages, we always, most often, there are different ways of coupling. The most common means of coupling is called RC coupling. The most common coupling technique is RC coupling, where a resistor and capacitor combination. I'll have a resistor in this circuit and a capacitor will be used to couple one stage to the next stage. Similarly, a resistance, output resistance here and a capacitance here will couple. So this is called RC coupling, resistance capacitance coupling. And when we use these coupling capacitors to connect the output of one stage to the input of the next stage, or to connect the signal generator to the basic amplifier or basic amplifier to load, for any connection, whenever we use these capacitors, the coupling capacitors will tend to have a different effect on the circuit. They will tend to reduce the gain at low frequencies and all that. They have some additional effects on the behavior of the circuit, which we will consider later. For now, we are just shorting all these coupling capacitors when we do the AC analysis. Okay. And we spoke about how a three-terminal device can be written as a two-port network by shorting one terminal. One terminal is taken as common between input and output. So three-terminal device can become a two-port network. With that, I will have three different configurations of MOSFET. Common source, where source is the common terminal. Common gate, where gate is the common terminal. And common drain, where drain is the common terminal. And input and output are given as follows. Then we moved on to characterizing amplifiers. When we characterize amplifiers, we'll be talking about three important parameters. One is the input resistance, the second is the voltage gain, and the third is the output resistance. So we took a simple amplifier represented like this triangle arrowhead. We considered an input signal being given from the signal source, and that signal generator had a resistance R sig. It is connected to the input of the amplifier where it's supplying a voltage Vi and sending a current Ii into the amplifier. And the amplifier output is connected to a load resistance to supply the output voltage across it, and the current flowing through the load resistance is I naught. Okay. So then we try to replace the amplifier with its Thevenin's equivalent circuit internally. When I replace the amplifier with a Thevenin's equivalent circuit, it will just have a resistance on the input side. So between the two input terminals, it will just have a resistance value Ri, and on the output side, it will have a voltage source AV times Vi, where AV represents the voltage ratio or the voltage gain, and in series with the output resistance of the amplifier R0. So this is a simple equivalent representation of an amplifier internally. And again, I was telling you this is Thevenin's equivalent. What would it be if it is Norton's equivalent? If I want Norton's equivalent, what would I have in an amplifier? Yes, for Norton's equivalent of amplifier, what do you think would change? The input side would be a simple resistance again as it is. The output side, instead of a dependent voltage source, I should have a dependent current source. And a current source is always in parallel with an impedance. So if I consider the equivalent circuit of amplifier, Norton's equivalent circuit, it would have an input resistance Ri just like the voltage equivalent. The voltage is here and the input current is I. I will have a current source, and this dependent current source depends on the input voltage. Say I have Gm into Vi or something like that, the value of this current, and in parallel with the output resistance R0. In Thevenin's equivalent, we have voltage source and a series resistance. In Norton's equivalent, I have a current source and a parallel resistance. Here, the value of this current source, I can write it as current gain into input current also. If I consider the transconductance factor, it will be Gm into voltage. If I consider current gain factor, I can write it like this. Anyway, we'll be seeing in depth about these things as we analyze the circuits. So just remember what's the difference between a Norton's equivalent replacement for an amplifier and a Thevenin's equivalent. And always we consider the amplifier to be unilateral. That is, the signal flows from the input side to the output side always. Okay. Signal flow is always from input to the output side as shown. Then we tried to analyze this circuit. First thing what we saw was the applied signal generator voltage V sig will not completely appear at the base of the amplifier as Vi. That is because of this signal generator resistance R sig and the input resistance Ri. So what would be the voltage drop across this amplifier or the input side of the amplifier? If I write the input side of the circuit as I have shown here, you can clearly see the voltage drop across this resistance would be what? V sig into Ri by R sig plus Ri. Okay. So the voltage drop across this resistance would be based on the potential divider rule. Voltage divider rule tells it will be V sig into Ri by R sig plus Ri. Okay. That's how we have written the first equation. And I also told you If I want to make Vi equal to Vsig, if you want to make this Vi equivalent to the signal generator voltage, that is possible if I make Ri very, very large when compared to Rsig. So Ri represents the input resistance of the amplifier. If you make this input resistance much, much larger than the signal generator resistance, so naturally all the signal generator voltage will appear across the input terminals. There won't be any drop or loss across this resistance if this is too small in comparison with Ri. That's all we have told. Okay, and the first thing which we need to determine in an amplifier is its input resistance. So how do we define the input resistance of the amplifier? Input resistance of the amplifier is the resistance as seen from a signal generator on the input side. So what is the resistance as seen on the input side? It will be the voltage applied on the input side divided by the current sent. So Vi by Ii. I am applying a voltage Vi and I am sending a current Ii. So Ri or Rin here, let me call it as Rin. Rin is Vi by Ii. Okay. That represents the input resistance of this amplifier. And in this case, what is the value? See, you have in the input side of the amplifier, what is the resistance I have here? I have the resistance Ri. The voltage coming here is Vi and the current is Ii. So this Rin is equal to Ri in this particular case. Okay. So we have determined what is the resistance offered on the input side of the amplifier. Next, whatever is the voltage gain which appears here, we also call it as open circuit voltage gain. Open circuit voltage gain is determined whenever the load resistance is not there. When RL becomes infinity, whatever voltage gain you get, that is called open circuit voltage gain. So I showed you the equivalent output side of the circuit. Here we have AVVI, R0, and this RL is absent here. RL is infinite. So it is open circuited. So what happens to the voltage V0 here? It will be same as this voltage AV times VI, the dependent voltage source voltage. So V0 is equal to AV times VI, or in other words, what is AVO? AVO represents the open circuit voltage gain of the amplifier. It is defined as ratio of output voltage to input voltage when the load resistance is infinity. It is same as AV, whatever AV we have connected in this circuit. Okay. Then we said we should determine the overall voltage gain of the circuit, which will be the final output voltage divided by actual applied input signal, because these are the ones which we can measure whenever we do a practical circuit. So in the lab, whenever we are doing a practical circuit, you will be able to measure the output voltage V0 and the input signal voltage Vsig. That's why whatever you measure there will be the overall voltage gain and not the open circuit voltage gain. But in order to find this overall voltage gain, I should first include RL in the circuit and determine another voltage gain, which we call as voltage gain with load. So let's find, if RL is not equal to infinity, voltage gain with load or voltage gain with RL, what would it be? We have written the output side of the circuit, AVVI. So in the amplifier, this is the output side. Remember, we have the amplifier and this was the output side. And RL is the external or load resistance connected in the circuit. Okay. Now, what would be the value of the voltage? V0. Apply the voltage divider rule. You have total voltage as AV times VI. I need to find the voltage drop across RL. So AV VI into RL divided by R0 plus RL. Okay. So this would be the effective output voltage when we put back the load resistance or when there is a load resistance in the circuit. Therefore, let me try to find the voltage gain with load. How do I define it? Output voltage by input voltage when load resistance is present or it is not infinity, when RL is not infinity. So what would its value be? I have taken VL to the left hand side, so I'll get the ratio V0 by VI. You have AV RL by R0 plus RL left on the right hand side. And this AV is nothing but AVO. Remember, AVO is equal to AV here. Open circuit voltage gain is nothing but AV. So open circuit voltage gain into load resistance divided by sum of output resistance of the amplifier and the load resistance. This we call as voltage gain with load. So as of now, we have defined two types of voltage gain. One is open circuit voltage gain, which is same as AV, and the second voltage gain. So how is this defined? V0 by Vi when RL is equal to infinity. RL shouldn't be there. That's how we define AV or AVO. Next is we'll define AV dash voltage gain with load as again V0 by Vi, but with RL not equal to infinity. And this value would be AVRL by R0 plus RL. So we have defined two types of voltage gains in the same amplifier. Now we'll define the last type or the final type, that is GV, the overall voltage gain. As we have already written the equation there, this overall voltage gain will be final output voltage divided by actually applied signal generator input voltage, V0 by Vsig. Okay, this is what you can measure. So final output voltage V0 divided by actual applied input signal Vsig. So this is our final or overall voltage gain. In order to find this value, I can rewrite this as, let me split it by multiplying and dividing it with Vi. Can I write it like this? I have just multiplied and divided it with Vi. So you have V0 by Vi into Vi by Vsig. The value doesn't change. It remains the same. If Vi cancels, it is still V0 by Vsig. Why did we do this? Because we already have defined the ratio V0 by Vi. Can you tell me what is the ratio V0 by Vi in an amplifier which has RL? V0 by Vi when RL is present is AV dash. What is the value of AV dash? AV RL by R0 plus RL. So the value of this first ratio, if you want, you call this equation 1. We have given equation numbers. Okay, call this equation 4. So from equation 4, I'll replace V0 by Vi with AVRL by R0 plus RL. And can I find what is Vi by Vsig? Have we already found that out? I think we did it initially only. Here, we have written Vi in terms of Vsig. What is Vi in terms of Vsig? Remember here on the input side also I have a voltage divider. Vi will be Vsig into Ri divided by Rsig plus Ri. So we call this equation 1. So what would be the value of Vi by Vsig? We are interested in this now. It is Ri by Rsig plus Ri. Yes or no? From equation 1, Vi by Vsig. Please ask if you have any doubts in between. So Vi by Vsig could be written as what? Ri by Rsig plus Ri. Just now we wrote. Okay. So this is from the equation 1. From equation 1, we got this value, this one. And from equation 4, we are getting this value. Therefore, overall voltage gain GV can be written as AV or AVO. Remember, AV is equal to AVO, the voltage gain with an open circuit load. Both are one and the same. Open circuited voltage gain into RL by R0 plus RL. I'll write this ratio separately, into input resistance by R sig plus RI. Okay. So this would be the overall voltage gain in an amplifier. So please remember, so looking at this, can you tell me whether this overall voltage gain will be more than open circuit voltage gain or less? Look at this ratios or the equations and tell me. This is the open circuit voltage gain. It is multiplied with two ratios. Both of these values will surely be what? Less than 1. Yes or no? Looking at the terms in the ratio, you can easily see both these values will be less than 1. So what do you expect the overall voltage gain to be in comparison with open circuit voltage gain?
It will be less.
It should surely be less. Please remember, GV overall voltage gain is much less than, I can say, voltage gain with load, which is still less than open circuit voltage gain, which is nothing but AV. So the overall voltage gain will be less than voltage gain with load. What is the expression for voltage gain with load? Open circuit voltage gain into RL by R0 plus RL. One ratio is there, which is less than 1. So surely this is more than GV, and open circuit voltage gain, which doesn't have any ratios, will be the highest in a given circuit. Please remember this rule. Whenever you're doing problems, you should always remember you should get the values accordingly. If it is not according to this, then there is something wrong in your calculations. Is this clear? So this is the second parameter which we have found, that is the voltage gain of the circuit. And in voltage gain, the basic voltage gain is defined as the open circuit voltage gain, because it is defined when the load resistance also is not present. Then we will define the voltage gain when a load resistance is present. So that is called voltage gain with load, AV dash. And lastly, we will define the overall voltage gain, which is the voltage gain when the source resistance as well as the load resistance is considered. R sig as well as RL both are considered, then the overall voltage gain of the circuit reduces. That's what we have considered. Okay, the last parameter which we have to find is the output resistance in an amplifier, R0. So let's find the output resistance, R0 or R out, whatever you can. I think if we have named it R0 there, let me call it as R out. How do we find this R out? There is a special procedure to find R out. Remember, the output side of the amplifier has, a voltage source here, AVVI, and an output resistance R0. And if I am expected to find from outside what is the resistance offered by this complete amplifier, then I should look into the output terminals of the amplifier and try to determine that resistance. So you just mark this. You say R out represents the resistor, the resistance offered on the output side of the amplifier, output side of an amplifier as seen by a load. So if I have a load resistance here as seen by this load resistance. So before the load resistance, I should find the output impedance or the output resistance of the amplifier. So remember, whenever I find the output resistance, I'll actually find two values: output resistance without the load, that is the main one, and after including load, what happens to the output resistance, that is a secondary one. Usually this represents the output resistance. So in order to find this, we always have a standard procedure. All of you please write down this standard procedure. Standard procedure to find R out. What do we do? All this we are going to use commonly in all amplifier analysis from now onwards. Remove RL. So remember, I should not have RL. Before RL, I should find the resistance first. Remove RL, first step. Then connect a voltage source, say Vx, sending a current Ix into the output side of the amplifier. And you have to make Vsig 0 or short the input signal. So the input voltage source will be shorted or it would be made 0. You will remove the load resistance RL and you will be connecting a voltage source Vx, sending a current Ix into the output side of the circuit. So let's try to do all that to this circuit. So the output side of the circuit is like this. You have this dependent voltage source AV into Vi. We have the output impedance R0 here, which is obtained from the Thevenin's equivalent. Now I should remove, this is where I have RL. I have removed RL and I will be connecting a voltage source Vx, sending a current Ix into the output side of the circuit. Is that clear? Remove RL and here on the input side, the signal generator should be shorted. Vsig should be made 0. Okay. Rsig we have and Ri as usual. All these are common terminals. So this would be your equivalent of the amplifier whenever you find the output resistance. Please remember.
That AV into Vi will also be 0.
AV into Vi?
Will
No,
also become 0.
that won't become 0 because here we are assuming there is some Vi. Though Vsig is made 0 because this resistance is there. If I make Vi 0, then this will be 0. But we have these resistors here. So due to some effect, we can say this is only a part in the analysis. And remember, this AV into Vi is representing the voltage gain obtained in the amplifier. So you just can't say it is 0, but in most of the cases, it will turn out to be 0. When we do the analysis, this would turn out to be 0 whenever Vi becomes 0. Okay. So every time here in this case, if Vi is going to be 0, naturally this will be 0 and it will be shorted. That's right. So what is R out? R out should be defined in this. Here we are just coming out with a fundamental definition, that's all. The applied voltage divided by the current which is going into the circuit. V by I gives you a resistance. And how this is found? This is always found when V sig is 0. So please remember, the input signal is made 0 whenever you are finding the output resistance. And you remove the load on the output side and you assume you are connecting a voltage source sending a voltage Vx and current Ix into the circuit. So as I told you and as you are aware, most often when V sig is 0, Vi will also be 0 and this source also will be shorted, AVVI. But for now we are not going in depth. So if you want, you can write that also. Note when Vi becomes 0, AVVI will also be 0 or it will be shorted. Therefore, R out, which is Vx by Ix, will become equal to R naught in most cases. In most of the cases, this is true, but not always. We will see why. As we analyze different amplifiers, for most of the cases, this condition will be true, but not always. So please remember these steps. So what are the three important parameters in an amplifier? The input resistance, Ri or Rin, and the voltage gain, three different types of voltage gain: open circuit voltage gain with load, and overall voltage gain, and their relationships. And finally, the output impedance or output resistance of the amplifier, which is found using the steps discussed above. These are the three major parameters whenever we consider amplifier analysis. Whenever we say small signal or AC analysis, small signal or AC analysis of an amplifier, it involves finding the input impedance, the voltage gain, I'll say overall voltage gain, and the output impedance of the amplifier. So very often in the problems, they'll just ask you to perform the complete AC analysis of an amplifier. Then these are the things you should perform. Okay, you should find out. Now we'll go to an actual MOSFET amplifier and we will try to find these things. So the first type of amplifier which we will consider is the common source amplifier. Let me draw a simple common source amplifier which has the drain resistance RD. Okay. If you want, you can write this VDD or we can leave it. Maybe if initially I'll just leave it and later on I'll show you how we'll write the whole thing. Let me just write this. So common source means, remember, source should be the common terminal between input and output. So source should be grounded, correct? And where should we give the input signal? The input signal V sig along with its impedance R sig should be connected between the gate and the source, which is grounded. And where should I find the output impedance? Output impedance should be found across this resistance RD. We are writing that resistance here. Remember, RD is a resistance connected between drain and ground because what? We are writing the AC equivalent circuit here. So if you want, I can write the complete amplifier and show it how it will look. So just like if you draw a normal amplifier with the DC biasing arrangement, here you have VDD. And here, let's say we have biasing resistors R1, R2. Okay, I'm just showing you how it would be done. And here you have coupling capacitance. Here you will have the signal connected, VSig and RSig. And again here you will have one more coupling capacitance, after which we will connect a load RL. So this would be an ideal amplifier circuit to consider, or a complete amplifier which we will usually consider. And from this complete amplifier, we can write the AC and DC equivalent circuits. And here I am writing a simplified AC equivalent circuit. I told you how to write the AC equivalent. What would be the AC equivalent of this? If I want to write AC equivalent circuit for this amplifier, what should I do? What are the rules to write the AC equivalent circuit? Retain the AC signal generator as it is. Any DC voltage source should be replaced with a short circuit. So replace DC voltage source with a short circuit. And what should we do to the capacitors? Replace the capacitors with short circuit.
Short circuit.
Yes. So when we do this, how will the circuit look? You just see here, how will the circuit look when you draw the AC equivalent? Here, source is grounded, and you see there is a resistance RD connected from the drain, and the other end will be grounded. Yes or no? See, the other end of RD is coming like this to the ground. So how can I write that RD? I can easily represent that RD from drain to ground. Okay. And then I have another resistor at the drain here, that is RL, the load resistance, which is also connected between drain and ground. So if I include that resistance, I should write one more resistor here, RL, which is connected between drain and ground. And across this, we are going to measure the output voltage. So now we are done with the output side of the circuit, where we have two resistors connected between drain and ground whenever we have written the AC equivalent circuit. Remember, these capacitors are shorted and the DC source is also shorted. We assume its input resistance of VDD is 0. Since it's not mentioned, usually we'll consider the input resistance of the DC source is 0. Okay. And coming to the input side, what and all should I connect between gate and ground? I have one resistor R2 between gate and ground. And what about R1? R1 also, one end is connected to the gate and the other end, if you see, this end is grounded. Yes or no? So what should I parallel with each other? The biasing resistors R1 and R2, right? Both are connected between gate and ground. You see, R2 is also connected between gate and ground. R1 will also be connected between gate and ground. And what else is left on the input side? Because this capacitance is shorted, I now have to connect the AC signal source VSig in series with RSig. So here I should include VSig in series with RSig. So if I consider a practical amplifier or a proper MOSFET amplifier, it will include all these elements. Like the one you do in the lab, if you do a proper common source MOSFET amplifier in the lab, you will include biasing resistors, you will include coupling capacitors, you will include the biasing voltage VDD and the load resistance, all can be included. Okay. So ideally, this is how we write the AC equivalent circuit. Is that clear? Do you have any doubt with writing this? Here, what we have done, we have considered a very simple common source amplifier where we have considered only the signal source with its resistance and just the drain resistance RD present. I have avoided considering the bias resistors and the load resistors. We will consider this circuit after we finish analyzing this simple circuit. Okay. So you just say consider a simple common source amplifier, circuit where biasing and load resistors are absent. So they are not there. We'll consider such a simple circuit as shown. This is the circuit which we have considered. The output voltage is measured from the drain to the ground. So output voltage is measured from drain to the ground. Source terminal is grounded. Input voltage is connected between the gate and the ground. So I told you AC analysis means finding three important parameters. One is the input resistance Rin, and let me call the voltage here as what? Vi, or I can say it is VGS, gate source voltage, or the input voltage Vi. I can call that voltage. And we have, what should I do now? How do I analyze this MOSFET? What did we do towards the end of module 1? We found an equivalent electrical model for the MOSFET where I can remove this MOSFET and use its equivalent model to replace the MOSFET whenever I have to analyze it as an amplifier. So I have to find its input impedance, I have to find its output resistance here, R out. Since RL is not there, I should find it at this point after RD, R in, R out, and I should find the voltage gain AV dash and GV. Let me say AV, AV dash and GV. All the three we should find. Okay. So you just say already this is the AC equivalent circuit. So you need not write again separately. We have considered a very simplified circuit already. So what should I do next? I'll say replace the MOSFET with its equivalent small signal model. Do you remember the small signal model of the MOSFET? What did it have? From gate to source, it had infinite input impedance. Remember, there was no connection from gate to source. And on the output side from drain to source, I had to include a dependent current source GM into VGS in parallel with the output resistance R0. So this was the equivalent model of the MOSFET. Please remember, this is the what? This is the replacement or model of MOSFET. Now, in this circuit, I am replacing this MOSFET with this model. The remaining elements in this circuit should be brought back to the new circuit. What do I have on the input side between gate and source? I have a signal generator in series with a resistance. So here the source terminal is grounded. Can I ground this? The source terminal is grounded. And on the input side, I have a signal generator with resistance R6 and voltage V6. So this is connected on the input side of the circuit. Yes or no? So what is connected to this MOSFET on the input side? V-SIG in series with R-SIG. As usual, I have Vi is equal to VGS between these terminals. Here is the input voltage, which is same as gate source voltage, I can call it as. Now, what do I have on the output side? Between drain and source, what is connected? A single resistance RD. So, between the drain and the source, which is grounded, you have a single resistance RD connected. Across this resistance, we should measure the output voltage V0. Okay. Are you following what we are doing here? See, please understand these things carefully because we do this repeatedly in almost all circuits. It's like maths. If you do it once, the same steps or procedure you are repeating. So what are we doing here? First step is to write the AC equivalent circuit. In this case, since we don't have any DC sources or capacitors considered, we have with us the AC equivalent circuit. Okay. I also showed you an example if the actual amplifier which is given here. So I'll put it in separately so that you shouldn't get it mixed up. This is, what is this which we have done? Sorry. This is example of an actual amplifier, CS amplifier. CS means common source. So if an actual amplifier was given, its AC equivalent circuit could be written like this. It would look like this. But here we have simplified our analysis by simply avoiding the biasing resistors and the coupling capacitors and load resistance and all. We have a very simple circuit here. Now this is the circuit which we are trying to analyze, the one on the left hand side. And when we do the analysis, as soon as we have the AC equivalent circuit, you should replace the MOSFET with its small signal equivalent model. This is where you have to remember and recall the model. The small signal model of the MOSFET did not have any input resistance between the gate and the source. It had a dependent current source between drain and source, and the value of that current depended on the input voltage or the gate source voltage VGS into transconductance GM, and we also included an output resistance R0 in parallel with that current source to account for the actual behavior of MOSFET. Ideally, in a MOSFET, in the linear region, we should expect a straight line, but practically there will be a small sloping. That sloping results in this resistor R0. So ideally speaking, if this was a straight line, then R0 would have been infinity. But since this characteristics of ID versus VDS, this is not a perfect straight line parallel to the axis. It has a small slope. Because of that, we are having the resistance R0. This resistance will be present in parallel with the what? Dependent current source. So this whole thing will be the replacement for the MOSFET which we have written in this circuit. And the next job is to simply rewrite the components as they are connected to this MOSFET in the equivalent circuit. That's all we have done. Vsig and Rsig, I have put it between the gate and the source. We have grounded the source, and between drain and source, we have connected the resistance RD. Okay. So now our equivalent circuit is ready. Now we can begin our analysis. So let's start our analysis. The first step is to find the input resistance Rin. How do I and where do I define the input resistance in this circuit? Remember, input resistance is defined as the resistance seen by the signal source. So this part is the signal source. Signal source will have a voltage, it will have a internal resistance. So what is the resistance seen by the signal source when we peep into the input side of the amplifier? What do I see here? When you are looking between the gate and source terminals from the input side, what are you seeing on the input side? Isn't it an open circuit here? You are looking into an open circuit. So what happens to this input impedance? What is the resistance in an open circuit? Yes. If you want to define an equation for this, you can list it as the input voltage divided by the input current. Naturally, this input current will be zero because there is an open circuit here. Even if you have a voltage here, VGS by 0, so what would be the resistance? Whenever you're looking into an open circuit, this resistance turns out to be infinite. Please remember, this is a major advantage of MOSFETs. So the input resistance or input impedance turns out to be huge, which is infinite. Okay. Any doubts? Arbia Banu? Arbia, you're unmuted. Do you have any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you repeat, ma'am?
Yes. What do you want me to repeat? Getting the circuit or finding input resistance?
Ma'am, the analysis part.
Yeah. So when we start off with the analysis, the first step is to find the input resistance Rin. So if we are trying to find the input resistance Rin, remember, you should always mark it on this circuit. Rin is the resistance as seen by the signal source. So the signal source includes the voltage Vsig and the resistance Rsig. So what is the resistance as seen by this signal source? So the whole of the amplifier will offer some resistance. So we are looking into the amplifier from this side. Okay. So where I have pointed the arrow, we are looking into the amplifier from this side. What do I have when I see from this side? I have a voltage Vi or VGS. Gate source voltage is here Vi or VGS. And if I consider there is a current II here, I'll divide the applied voltage by the current. So Vi divided by II. But if you look at the input side, there is an open loop here. I don't have a closed loop. Will there be a current flowing when the loop is open? See, there is no connection. This is ground. So the current which comes here will not exist because of this open circuit. So you can essentially say that the input current is zero because of the open loop. II is zero if I substitute. You need not even write all this. You can skip all this. The resistance what you're seeing when you look into an open circuit, there's an open here. Whenever you're looking into an open circuit, it's automatically understood that the resistance is large, infinite. Infinite resistance is represented as an open circuit. Yes or no? So this is how we find the input resistance in an MOSFET, in a MOSFET amplifier. In any amplifier for that matter, this is how we find the input resistance. So what I was trying to tell you is, you can directly write Rin as infinity because we are looking into an open circuit on the input side. So this is an open circuit. When you are looking into an open circuit, you will directly see infinite resistance. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Next step is to find the voltage gain. How do we find the voltage gain? AV or AVO are one and the same. Open circuit voltage gain. Anyway, I don't have a load resistance here. So AV and AVO will be the same. Okay. What would its value be looking into the circuit? See, I have a current coming in this direction, and can I combine these two resistors which are in parallel? What would this value be? Can I write it like this? R0 parallel RD, and the current flowing through this is GM into VGS. So what would be the voltage drop here? What would be the voltage drop across this resistor? Current into resistance would give you the voltage, but you can see the current is flowing in the opposite direction. That means according to the direction of current flow, this end should have been positive and this should have been negative. But we are trying to measure V0 in the opposite direction. When we measure V0, we will always connect the positive probe to the drain and the negative probe to the source. Are you following? So these two resistors in parallel, R0 in parallel with RD, I am combining, and this current source is there, which is sending a current flowing in this direction through the parallel combination. So the voltage which is created across this resistance would be in this direction, this end positive, this end negative, because that is the direction of current flow. But we are measuring the voltage in the opposite direction, which means to say, so let me say V0 by Vi or V0 by VGS. Vi and VGS are the same. What is the value of V0? Voltage gain means it's always a ratio of output to input. Here V0 will be equal to the current source GM VGS into the parallel combination of the two resistors R0 parallel RD, but with an opposite direction, hence I should put a minus sign. The output voltage is measured with drain positive and source negative, whereas the current is flowing in the opposite direction through this resistance R0 parallel RD. Hence the voltage that is created will be this end positive, this negative. So you should put a minus sign indicating it is out of phase, opposite direction. So current into resistance is a voltage. I am trying to measure output voltage. V0 will be current into this resistance, but with opposite sign. So finally, if I substitute here, if I substitute the value of V0, I'll get minus GM VGS into R0 parallel RD divided by VGS. VGS cancels out. So what would be the value of AV or AVO here? It would just be minus GM into R0 parallel RD. Please understand this carefully. I told you this is a repetitive procedure which we'll do again and again. So to find the voltage gain, you always say, you know, the voltage gain is a ratio of output voltage to input voltage. Remember, I'm taking the input voltage at the base of the amplifier. I'm just considering this VI or VGS. I haven't taken the overall voltage gain. If I consider overall voltage gain, then I should be considering the input voltage as Vsig. That we will do it separately later. Okay. So we have just considered the input voltage at the input side of the amplifier and the output voltage V0. So the ratio of V0 to Vi will give you the voltage gain AV or AVO. Because there is no load resistance, AV and AVO are the same here. AV dash and AVO. Anyway, to find output voltage, I have just considered the parallel combination of these two. And I have shown the current flowing through this will be in the opposite direction. Hence, V0 will be minus the current into the resistance. Negative of the current into resistance. And if I want the voltage gain, I just have to divide it with VGS, which will cancel. This will be the expression for voltage gain. Call this equation 1 and equation 2. We'll stop here. We have just found the open circuit and voltage gain with load. This will also be equal, you can write here, AVO will also be equal to AV dash as RL is absent. RL is infinity means RL is not connected in this circuit. Okay. So all these things are the same. Let's continue to find the GV